Held with the benefit of public notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mr. Carabelli?
Here.
Ms. Phillips? Here. Mr. Whalen?
Here.
Mr. Reparo?
Here.
Mr. Ty?
Here.
Five are present.
Would everyone please rise for the flag salute and the invocation? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we please bow our heads? Dear God, we come before you this evening seeking your presence and guidance. We pray for peace in our world, in our nation, in our communities, and in our hearts. Grant us the grace to act with civility, to speak with kindness, and to live out the call to love our neighbors as ourselves. Bless the work before us tonight. Give us wisdom in our discussions and integrity in our decisions. May all that we do reflect fairness and keep the well-being of those we serve at the very center. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, we are going to go into executive session in order to get some updates from our attorney. So do I have a motion to enter into?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't miss a second.
Second.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go to the computer room. You guys can follow me.
Ladies first.
No, should start. Take this one. Our last thing was approved.
On the back table when you first walk in the door. You're welcome.
I'll try to get around for it first. There. Carrie, make sure she put it in place and get it through back. Yeah.
My sister,
Yeah, but then it had to do with the personal matter or something. Yeah. So you want to yeah, that works. That's what we have. Here we go. We know we're eight. So. Your hand, finger, okay, and then over the thing. Middle school.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. We need a motion to re-adjourn or
Motion to reconvene.
Yeah, thank you.
Second.
Reconvene.
On the
Okay.
motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
For your consideration, we have the minutes of the July 15th regular council meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Mr.
Pat
Carabelli?
moved.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Next, we have the communication of joint commendation honoring John Mileto of the Hamilton Township Environmental Commission for his years of service.
I'm just going to read a little bit from this proclamation honoring the longtime chairman of our Environmental Advisory Commission. We have members, one member of the, okay. We have a member of the Environmental Advisory Commission here. This reads in part, John Belletto has faithfully served as a member of the Hamilton Township Environmental Advisory Commission for over 37 years, demonstrating steadfast dedication to the protection and enhancement of the natural environment within our community. John has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to environmental science and stewardship, beginning with his academic achievements, Bachelor of Science in Meteorology and Oceanography from SUNY Maritime College, and a Master's in Marine Science from Fordham, and ongoing doctoral studies in ecology and evolution at Rutgers, and continuing through his distinguished career that includes service as a United States Merchant Marine Officer, a biologist, environmental project manager for the Salem and Hope Creek nuclear generating stations, and currently is a vice president and principal ecologist at BBL Incorporated. John has contributed his time and knowledge to numerous environmentally focused organizations, including serving on the boards of the Delaware Estuary Program, the Delaware River Basin Commission, the Delaware Bay and River Cooperative, the Water Resources Association of the Delaware Valley, the Groundwater Management Plan Advisory Committee, the American Fisheries Society, the Estuary Research Federation, and the Coastal America Foundation Board. And John most recently served as the chair of our Environmental Advisory Commission, where he has provided valuable guidance to township officials on issues of environmental impact, land use, and ecological preservation. He has consistently contributed expert knowledge, thoughtful perspective, and a collaborative spirit to the commission's efforts, and therefore it is jointly resolved by Mayor Jeffrey S. Martin and the Hamilton Township Council that we join with all the citizens of Hamilton Township to express our sincere gratitude to John H. Boletto for his outstanding service, his unwavering dedication and invaluable contributions to environmental stewardship and public service. And with that, I'll present this to you, and you'll give it to John. Great. Did you want to make any remarks?
Oh, yeah, I've been John for about 18
You gotta go to the mic and identify yourself. Right over there.
Yeah, I've known John for about 18 years.
For the record, can you identify yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. Carl Vetter, the current chairman of the Environmental Advisory Commission. I've been on the commission for about 18 years, and John was already on the commission when I started. And one of the best things I can say about John is he had a lot of concern when the township was considering open space purchase, and he was very concerned that the township not incur liabilities on any property they would consider buying. That was like one of the things that, he was very sharp on. Other things, when we did development plan reviews, and we review them before the zoning board and planning board gets them, and John was very supportive. I know when I did the reviews, and he was very insightful. He added stuff to my reviews. He did some of the reviews by himself. Some of them were quite complex, like the former Congolian plant and the former American Standard plant. I know those were big ones. He kept the meetings moving. He kept everybody focused. And one of the things that I remember about John, too, is that if anybody on the commission had an idea, he did not dismiss it. He thought about it. If we didn't do it or couldn't do it, he would tell us why. But he was very helpful to everybody. Everybody liked him, and I liked him very much. He was a very good leader. That was most of my experience on the commission. When he started, when we needed a new chairman, and it was announced that we needed a new one, he didn't hesitate to volunteer. He jumped right in. And he instilled a lot of energy, positive energy. And during his time, we got new members, and we started the Green Team. And he got the Green Team going. So he was a very good person. John was a very good person. And that's about all I can say.
Carl,
I could go all night long, but
I want to thank you, and I want to present this proclamation to you on John's behalf.
sure. We really hope to have John at one of our meetings so that we can pass this on to him and have our own little ceremony. But John's dealing with his own personal issues.
Yeah, best wishes to John, okay?
I will forward that.
Thank you. Okay,
Next for your consideration, we have the joint proclamation observing September as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. The theme, changing the narrative on suicide.
Do we need to move these
We
communications?
can remove them in one motion, please.
Can I get a motion?
Council President, I'll make a motion to move on our two communications items, C1, C2.
I'll second.
Thank you.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
It's 5-0. Next, we have consent agenda items CA1 through CA33. As Council President, I overstepped about the amendment to the agenda where we needed to add that resolution.
So, right, so there has been an amendment to the agenda since it was posted on the website. Added to the resolution consent agenda is CA 33, 25-411, a resolution establishing a contract for improvements at Veterans Park, Catawba Drive, and Scotty Courts, along with drainage improvements to Berrywood Drive, with BlackRock Enterprises LLC for the Department of Community and Economic Development, Division of Engineering, in the amount of $516,416.10. Can I please have a motion to the amendment of the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes,
Now for your consideration, we have items CA1 through CA33 on the consent agenda.
thank you. Thanks for keeping us on track. And so this CA 33 that we added at the last minute, it's an item that the township was able to realize savings in other capital projects that we had. This is primarily focused on pedestrian safety with the increased use of bicycles, e-bikes and such. One of the improvements is going to be to create bicycle lanes in Veterans Park for the bikes. We're fortunate to have our Director of Economic Development, Fred Dumont, here. Fred, was there anything that you wanted to add regarding the project? All right, well, I appreciate you being here in case anyone has any further questions. This agenda also includes reappointments, speaking of the Environmental Commission, and we are appreciative of all the volunteers who serve on all of our commissions. Comments from council, comments or questions?
No, I just wanted to highlight, I mean, you touched on most of the agenda items. There's some grant acceptances and some grants that we're applying for. There's also, which I thought was a big one, the Blue Collar AFSCME Local 2475, just the 3-year, 2025, January 2025 to December 31st of 2028, just settling on negotiations. Kudos to the administration for that. And that's all I really had to mention.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilman Carabelli.
Council President, if I may, I just want to say briefly, talk about CA6, which I'm glad that resolution is on the agenda tonight. And that resolution is authorizing the Hamilton Little Lads Baseball Association to sublease a portion of the Shady Brook Park to the Hamilton A's organization. I think this is a very good resolution. It's going to help one of the oldest, if I'm not mistaken, probably the oldest Little League youth baseball league in Hamilton Township that's been in existence since the late 40s, if I'm not mistaken. And as a lot of leagues have been struggling with enrollment, I think this is going to give them an opportunity to ramp things up over there and introduce more players into the league, which is going to help them survive. I think the last thing we ever want to see is an organization like Hamilton Little Lads to fold, because their enrollment numbers this year were probably around 45, where they probably had hundreds back in the 90s at least of active participants in the league. So it's a great resolution. I hope the Hamilton A's are going to be able to help them out to be there for another 25, 50 years, hopefully. So anyway, just
Thank
wanted to
you.
make notice.
Yeah,
Noted.
thank you, Councilman Whalen. Any other questions or comments from my council colleagues?
Council President, I just wanted to highlight actually CA7, resolution authorizing the execution of federal aid for the improvement project for pedestrian safety at Clockner Elementary School, because I know that has been coming up often, of concerns from our citizens about pedestrian safety, especially at our schools. So I'd like to see that.
Thank you. And I'd like to open it up to, unless there are any other comments from council, I'd like to open it up to members of the public for questions or comments on the consent agenda items CA1 through CA 33.
I love freezing it over my head. Janice Clonic, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. I just have a question about three things are talking about the Department of Water Pollution Control. We have a Department of Water Pollution Control. I thought Trenton Water Works was in control of
It's the sewer.
Oh, this is sewer?
Yeah, Trenton Water Works is the drinking water, and Hamilton Water Pollution Control is the sewer.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking, oh, well, what's happening now? Alrighty. So that takes care of that problem. Alrighty, just so I know who's in control here. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Jim Sharkey, Annabelle Avenue. Bike lanes in Veterans Park, where? Like, where are you gonna, I'm just curious where you're gonna put those, because I go there all the time, and I don't really know where those are supposed to go.
So the paved walking paths are going to be widened, and then we'll have designated bike lanes on either side for directional, I think is how it's going to be laid out, Fred. Bike lanes on both sides.
Okay.
Pedestrian traffic in the middle.
Sounds great. Those people walk real slow.
Any other members of the public with questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? Seeing none?
Seeing none, Council President, I'd like to close the public comment portion on the consent agenda and move on CA1 through CA 33.
I'll second that.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Next, for your consideration, we have second reading ordinances. Ordinance 125014 is an ordinance of the Township of Hamilton in the County of Mercer, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of computers and/or laptops for the Department of Information and Technology, end-of-life cycle project, and the acquisition of 2 police SUVs for the Department of Public Safety, fully funded by Capital Improvement Fund for the total amount of $250,000.
Any questions or comments from council? Any members of the public wishing to ask questions or making any comments? Seeing none?
Council President, I'll make a motion to close the public comment on ordinance 1 and move on ordinance 125-014.
I'll second that.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 225-017 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking, Section 485-19, Handicap Parking. This is repealing spaces established at 20 Annabelle by ordinance number 23-034, at 1115 William Street by ordinance number 99-025.
Any comments from council? Any members of the public with questions or comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Council President, I'll make a motion to close the public comment and move on ordinance 225-017.
Second motion.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 325-018 is an ordinance accepting a mandatory deed restriction for rental projects for a deed-restricted affordable housing property with restrictions on resale and refinancing. Project name Village Green, property address is 1531 through 1555 Clockner Road, Block 1922, Lot 26.01. Property owner is 1651 Clockner Road, LLC.
Any questions or comments from council members on this?
This is just to provide a little bit of information on this one. This was for the Clockner Road project that's recently under construction, got approved. It's the first phase is actually in the process of being completed, if not completed. 388 unit multifamily units on Clockner with 78 affordable units, and this is just providing the deed restriction for those units, for the affordable units on the. So
Thanks. Any questions or comments from the public?
Where on Faulkner is it?
So it's located, you know where the senior towers are? If you're on Clockner looking at the senior towers, they're to the right. It's the development that they, yeah. Luxury, a lot of luxury units, nice looking new neighborhood, and we were able to satisfy a good chunk of our affordable requirement there as well. So if no members of the public, yes, ma'am, can you come up?
I just have a question with regard to that area. What is
Yeah, we need you to ask the question into the microphone, ma'am.
Kimberly Thurston, I'm at 106 Hollywood
Thank you.
and in Hamilton. And I was just wondering, I saw the luxury apartments. What is that building to the right, coming down Clockner on your left-hand side before the pet cemetery? What is that green? It's not a house.
Oh, yeah, that's a group home.
It's a what?
It's a group home.
Oh, that's a group.
Yeah, I think it's ARC.
Nobody knows?
It's got the driveway that
Yeah,
swings
it's
around to
weird.
the back. It's a
Yeah.
group home.
Okay,
Yeah, that's been there, a few years now, I think.
okay. It seemed like it came up. I didn't notice it until I saw
Yeah.
the buildings come up. So while I'm up here, since I introduced myself, can I ask a question with regard to where I live?
Well, we're gonna
Or
have
I'll wait.
general.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
so,
problem.
thank you. Okay, so any other questions or comments pertaining to ordinance 3, the Village Green ordinance? Does not appear to be.
Council President, seeing there's no other questions, I close the public, move to close the public portion and move on ordinance 325-018 on second reading.
I'll second the motion.
On the
Madam Clerk.
motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 425-019 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 5, Administration of Government, Part 5, Boards, Commissions, Committees, and Agencies, Article 33A, Advisory Commission on Green Initiatives.
And this is the green team, Kathy? Or Jen?
So what this is that we're kind of cleaning up the ordinances, the code right now.
Can you get a little closer to the mic? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we get you on the record.
Hold on. Okay,
Thank you.
so what this is that we're cleaning up some aspects of the ordinances. So we're moving everything dealing with the green team from the ordinance where we're talking in 25-0119 to the part section from 25-020. So this is pretty much just moving everything, so everything environmental is in the same section. So we're just cleaning things up.
I appreciate your continued legal housekeeping with the code and updating and making sure that we are compliant with state language. I know there's been a lot of effort in that regard to make sure that on an ongoing basis, we continue to remain compliant. So thank you for all that effort over a period of years now that you guys have been working to get everything updated. Any questions or comments from council? Seeing none, I'll open it up to the public. Any members of the public with questions or comments on ordinance 4? Seeing none,
Seeing none, Council President, I will look to close the public comment portion and move on second reading, ordinance number 425-019.
I'll second it.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 25020 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 1, Administrative Legislation, Chapter 5, Administration of Government, Part 5, Boards, Commissions, Committees, and Agencies, Article 22, Environmental Advisory Commission, and Green Team.
And the previous explanation applies here.
Correct.
Part of the same initiative. Any questions, comments? No?
No.
Any members of the public? Seeing none?
Council President, I'd like to close the public comment portion on ordinance
5.
5, sorry, my eyes are going, 25-020 on second reading, and move on second reading, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 625-021 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 5, Administration of Government, Part 4, Departments, Articles
11.
Department of Public Safety, Section 5-65, Office of Municipal Emergency Management, and amending and supplementing Section 5-66, Reserve.
Jen, can you give us a quick?
1 second. Let me pull that up. So this is establishing the Municipal Emergency Management Coordinator, so our OEM coordinator. This is just, again, cleaning things up, making sure that we're in compliance with state law, as well as just adding what those requirements are going to be, who that person is going to be, and making it very explicit in our ordinances.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate that. Any questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from members of the public? Seeing none?
Seeing none, Council President, I look to move and close the public comment portion and move on second reading, and 25, ordinance 6, 25-021.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Chetty or Nancy?
On the motion, Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5.
Thank you. That concludes the readings of the ordinances. And now we're going to move to public comment. Thank you. And Tony DiStefano.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you everyone for serving. I just can't believe I'm up here tonight discussing what I'm about to tell you. Now, what I'd like to do is I'll just give you a quick synopsis, maybe a little bit of background so you understand what I'm about to tell you. So what I'd like to do right now is give you a package. Now, this is my opinion. Now, I'm a volunteer at the Hamilton Animal Shelter. Been there for about 4.5 years. And I do a lot of work there. I not only socialize these animals, but I clean up after them. I see dirty little pans, I scoop them right up. I clean the floor. This is not my job, but I enjoy doing it because it's for the animals. You know, they don't have a voice. We're their voice. Donnell appreciates it. I know Chuck Whalen has thanked me when he was down there. Mr. Ty, you've expressed your, thankfulness to me twice. So I know you guys appreciate it. But we have a guy in the health office who's he needs to be corrected. I don't think he belongs in that position, and I'm going to go through it, okay? He's already going after 2 employees at the shelter with grievances. They filed a grievance first because he was mismanaging the contract, for lack of a better word. He's breaking the contract. So he breaks the contract, the employees bring the grievance to the union, and then all of a sudden, he's going after them. Retaliation. Another girl. I don't know if I should mention their names. I can mention their names, is it all right? Or I'm sure the attorney must know, because she's probably involved.
These are personnel matters
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm giving you a
should not
background.
be
I'm not here to fight for them. I'm giving you a background. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
These are personnel issues that should not be discussed at the council meeting, that have been handled through administration. And so they're not things that should be discussed in an open forum in this matter.
So,
If he has a complaint or something regarding him, we're more than, and I don't want to speak for the council, but that's something that we can that should be discussed. But anything regarding employees and employee matters should not be discussed.
Okay, so I'm not going to mention any names. I'm almost done anyway. There was a second employee, same thing. She filed a grievance because he broke the contract, and then he retaliated back and went after her. It's retaliation. That should have no place in the workplace. Okay? Chuck, I'm sure you know about this kind of stuff because you're a union guy. He must have heard those kind of complaints all the time when he was a union man. So anyhow, that's it for the employees. So now, I'm a volunteer for everything. That's why you got pictures over there. In the beginning, you'll see me at the National Night Out. And there was a flea market at the library. I'm there. There's the pictures. I volunteer for everything. Donnell loves me because every time I'm there, she never sees a dirty litter pan. But anyhow, I volunteer for everything they ask me. I mean, I'm more of an asset, not a detriment. But this health officer is a detriment to that shelter. The morale's in the toilet. I'm telling you right now, because I'm there a lot. I see what goes on. And somebody's got to talk to this guy. I mean, you don't go around punishing people because they filed a grievance against you. And with me, let me tell you what he did to me. I'm fired from being a volunteer. Is that doing anybody any good? Is that doing the town any good? Is it doing Donnell any good? Is it doing the animals any good? And you want to know why? Because I wear flip-flops at the night, what's it called, the National Night Out. Now, pay attention to what I'm saying. I wore flip-flops in the summertime for 4.5 years, in the presence of Donnell, in the presence of Mr. Hellweek, okay, and at the National Night Out. He's right there seeing me. Never said a word to me. He's accepted it as, it's okay. Guess what? I get a phone call 2 days later from Faith, who's the volunteer coordinator. She said, Tony, I got to talk to you about some of the things he saw you doing over there. You can't be wearing open-toe shoes. You can't be doing this with the dogs. You can't. I said, wait a minute. Didn't you have an opportunity to correct it right on the spot? They didn't. You know why? They needed me that night. That's why they didn't correct it. And they let it go for 4.5 years. That's a past precedent. Now, this guy's a.
Jackie, did you hear that alarm go off? Your 4 minutes is up. We
I'll
talked
come back.
about this. I welcome you to come back up. We're going to give other members of the public a chance to come up.
Okay, well, I think I got that part of it through, so I'll come back.
Okay.
Thank you for affording me the opportunity. I'll be back.
Thank you. Ma'am, you had said you'd wanted to speak during, would you like to come up?
My name again is Kimberly Thurston, 106 Hollywood Drive, and I live in the Bromley section. And there's a lot of changes going on in Bromley that are not good changes, and I'm concerned. I've been there for about 25 years, and it's just, there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of diverted traffic that comes on that street off of Nottingham. And there's always an influx of children that move into that neighborhood because it's a very large populated rental area. And there's nothing that seems to be done about it. When even UPS, when they come off of Park Lane and they hit the entry to Hollywood, it's like everybody's doing 50, 60 miles an hour. even these delivery trucks. And I've had people that come to visit me, or people that's coming to do something, and I'm like, why are they flying? This is a hazard. It's a hazard for not just kids, but everyone. And I'm wondering, is the township ever going to look at putting signage? There's no signage. There's no crosswalk. Uh, there's very few, I'll say. But there needs to be signage there. When you come off of Greenwood Avenue and come to make a right onto Joan Terrace, there is no stop sign. There is no yield sign. There is no crosswalk. And people almost kiss each other. When they're coming from the loop on Hollywood to come out to go on to Joan Terrace, it's like a trap. And I don't understand why there's no signage anywhere out there. Not only I, but others have called the police to say that they need to come and check the speed limit that goes on there. The one time that they did come and check, they were parked right on the street. If they had went on to the side of Mervine, they would have seen all the speeding that goes past there. Now, I know everybody's affected by these young people that have these cars that are zooted up and they sound like they're exploding while they're driving, and all that. And the guys on the bikes. I had suggested to the zoning board before, asking why can't they put speed bumps down? And they said it wouldn't be a good thing. I thought about it a couple weeks ago. I'm like, well, if they don't put speed bumps down, at least the paint that deters you, that hums when you're going off to the side of the road, something that will slow these people down. Because right now, it's an opportunity to see how fast your car can go. Coming from Parker, coming down to Park Lane, or coming from Park Lane, going up to Parker. The other thing I noticed that a lot of people, because there's so many car repair places around, is that a lot of these people come down and test drive cars. They come down Park Lane, turn right, come to Hollywood, turn right, turn left, and go up Mervine. There's a lot of car repair shops, and they're like day shops, you know. The last thing I'd like to say, on Greenwood Avenue and Joan Terrace, that place that fixes tires, you guys have to put something up to tell them not to put cars right in front of that area. That's an accident waiting to happen.
So you're out of time, but you have 3 more minutes if you want to come back up. And I just want to say that I'd like to follow up with you on some of the concerns that you raised. And perhaps me and one of my colleagues, and perhaps one of our directors from the mayor's team, we can come out and walk just so we can see where the problems are, you know, so that we can just get a better idea
Absolutely.
of what needs to be done. So I'd like to follow up with you before you, if you're able to stick around, we can
All right.
make sure we have each other's contact information. And
Thank you.
I have a question for you. The location that you just said about putting the cars in closed, what was that? Entire
That's
place?
Joan
Greenwood,
Terrace.
that's right at Greenwood and Joan Terrace. Coming off of Greenwood and Joan Terrace, there's a little shop there that fixes tires. Well, it's a very small area, but they'll have cars parked right, when you're at the stop sign, you can't see because they're parked long ways against the traffic. You can't see anything. It's really a bad spot.
thank you, Ms. Thurston. Yes, Director Dumont.
Sent a text message to zoning officer John Leonardo. He's going to be at the tire place tomorrow morning. And a text to Samantha Brown, Township engineer. She's going to look at the neighborhood. We've spoken before, the resident and I. I will say, on the record that speed bumps are not the answer there. And it's a very tight-knit area. Houses are very close, and you put a speed bump right there. The amount of noise, a car going to that speed bump will wake anybody up. If we have an ambulance, a fire truck, a police car going down there, they're going to be hampered by it, and snowplows. So I don't agree that speed bumps are the answer, but Sam Brown, that's them beeping now saying that they know. They'll be out there tomorrow morning, walking the area to take a look at it. And John will be out there at the tire place.
All right, and perhaps we can follow up with a visit with one of my colleagues. Obviously, council only travels 2 at a time, so we don't have a quorum out on the street when we're not in a meeting. But
As always, we'll report back to
appreciate
Mrs.
that.
Monzo. She'll have the answers for you, so she'll relay it to everybody.
And I
All right?
appreciate your quick response to that, Fred. Thank you. Okay, any other members of the public wishing to ask questions or make comments for the first time tonight? Yes, sir. I see 2 hands at this table and a hand.
Hi, I'm David Horrocks of 3 Heathwood Lane. This is my first time making a comment in this kind of forum, so I'm a little nervous. I'm calling about a brewery, Bent Iron Brewery, that has opened up in the past year, pretty much in our neighborhood. We're in the rural section of Hamilton, one of the last streets kind of in Hamilton. Over the past year, we've had some issues with them having loud concerts in the neighborhood. And around this time of year, it's every Saturday, most Fridays, many Sundays, where we want to enjoy our backyard and have dinner out there or open our windows and not hear the music. This summer, I've called the police 5 times. And on this Saturday, it was 2 times. We can hear very audibly, very loud and clear profanity from the bands that are performing there. It's so loud, I can hear it in my house. I can't get away from it, even when my windows are shut. My son, who's on the spectrum, he goes outside and he plays his mind, we call it. He spends hours and hours a day out there. And he's, very upset. We were so upset to the point where we just left that last Saturday because the police don't stop the event. And so we can't really enjoy our yard because they're just so loud. So we vacated our property and had dinner at Chili's. My wife is a nurse and she works nights. She's at Princeton Hospital, assistant nurse manager. So we're basically out of pocket all during the week. It's really the weekend we want to enjoy time out back. I have a pizza oven. I like to cook outside. We have a little swimming pool. It really takes away a lot of our yard for us. Again, we really picked this property because it's rural and quiet. And the brewery, although it's a beautiful brewery, I've been there, I think it's a great idea. It's just they regularly have these concerts, and it's very consistently, especially when it's nice, they're going to have their outdoor bands. Their stage is set up. They have nothing that blocks the sound coming towards our neighborhood. Like at Mercer County Park, they have an amphitheater with a brick backing that directs the sound a certain way. There's nothing like that at the brewery. I understand they face their speakers away from the neighborhood, but we hear it. It drones back. I have other neighbors who are also upset. We've contacted the brewery. They say they have ability to do it. They can do what they need to. We've called the police. They say that we've contacted and emailed the township, and we've gotten some responses saying that they have a decibel meter there and they're within compliance, but we've checked with our phones and decimal readings, and we know there's a noise ordinance, and it's kind of like we see it as like there's no way because we measure much higher ratings. And I have another neighbor who's here today as well, who's right next to the brewery, and he's even more greatly affected because he's right next to the brewery. And so I'm kind of bringing this to your attention today to see if we can find some way for some peacefulness, in our neighborhood, because they've kind of just taken a lot away from us by opening it up right there and having these bands perform.
Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. Which, yes, sir.
I was just going to ask a couple questions.
Please.
Okay. Dave,
Yeah.
I wanted to just ask you, is this typically during the summer months? I know they've only been open, I was there for the ribbon cutting and, beautiful facility. But I know it is fairly close to the neighborhood that abuts it. So,
Yep.
Is it mainly these are during the day, or is it a question of like it's late at night, or
It is during the day. They tend to shut their band down like around 8 or 9 o'clock, so it's not like overly late,
overnight?
but they're playing for hours and hours. And and I kind of have my threshold. My threshold is I can't get away from it. I'm in my house, my windows are shut, my doors are shut, and I can hear it very well enough to say it's, disturbing me. So, and I have dates written down. So like 5:10, I called the police. 5:25, I called the police. 6:29, I called the police. And I know they've been loud elsewhere because the neighbors and I have been talking, and I've been out of town. So there's been times when probably I would have, but on 9/13, it was really like out of control, really very loud. And we knew it would be because we knew, we're on their Facebook page and we see that they're having an event and they're charging tickets for it with the bigger named band. And so we knew that it would be louder, but nothing really could have prepared me for how loud it was. And I couldn't believe it. We were all just like beside ourselves, in the neighborhood here.
We're going to have to look into this. I don't know if anybody has any other comments, but
Just, I don't know a tremendous amount of details, but I have heard of your issues out there and the complaints, and I believe that Township has been out there several times, spoken to the property owners. They've been trying to keep it lower levels. And I do know that they have their decibel meter that they've been using to record that so that they remain under what's allowable. And, what's allowable. And again, I don't know between what you're measuring and what they're measuring. I haven't seen all of that detail
Sure.
and all of that. And we can only take that at, we don't do decibel measuring. We don't have anybody we don't have a decibel machine, and we don't do that measuring for the ordinance.
I don't want to steal his thunder, but he did measure 80 decibels at his property line last Saturday.
And last Saturday, they went, I think we had somebody out there last Saturday, and so I can't be sure, though, until I see
Sure.
the report and all of that. So I know we're trying to, work with the owners there.
Yeah.
To see if they can maybe help, mitigate the situation somewhat, because I'm sure it is a disturbance to you to have all of a sudden, this music there through this business. And they're on notice that they have to remain within our, rules and ordinances and all of that. So we're hoping that they continue to work with us and try to make it better for you all, but still be able to do, what they would like to do in terms of their entertainment. But,
Yep.
so I think we still have to see how that goes. But, I know that we're gonna have other folks going out there too on a regular basis, just to be sure that,
Council
we're
President.
catching some
Can-
things.
Can I ask a question real quick? When a person develops a property like this into a brewery, right? So for instance, okay, I'm building a brewery, I'm building it in a location that is surrounded by neighborhoods. If they were gonna have anything other than that venue there as far as a brewery, do they put us on notice to let us know what their intent is in advance? Right?
Is there anything
Like-
that requires them to do that?
What's that?
Is there anything that requires?
That's what I'm saying. Is there any requirements that says, okay, I'm opening up a brewery, but I didn't tell you I'm also gonna have food and a band there every weekend?
They can't have food, they can only have food trucks.
Food trucks.
They,
my
they have a
question- my
food
question-
truck there every day.
Well, whatever, food truck, that don't
Yeah.
bother me as much as the noise ordinance and just being a good neighbor.
I
My
don't know
question-
the answer to your question on that, right? They have all types of regulations because they're gonna, for what they're doing, being a brewery, but I don't know what, if anything, right, other than our ordinances that regulates them from entertainment that they have. Just like if you wanted to have entertainment on your property or have an outdoor party or something like that. Obviously, you're not doing it on a daily or weekly basis,
Right.
but, and this is a business. So I don't know if they fall under different regulations. I believe at this point, they're really just falling under our ordinances at this point and the noise ordinances. And that their activity is allowable, but obviously, you know, if it exceeds our noise ordinance, then, you know, they have to cease doing that.
So my question is, we have warehouses that have opened. There was one that was done behind Hamilton Marketplace. And I think one of the things that was done to mediate the situation was they had a meeting with the neighbors and said, hey, what can we do to make this better, right? Since that warehouse has gone up, because they put a berm up, because they put trees up, because they did all those things, the neighbors don't even hear the trucks at the warehouse anymore. So, not saying that this is gonna make the music go away, but maybe we start with a mediation session
Yeah.
and bring people to the table and say, how can you improve this to stop annoying the neighbors?
Yeah.
Because the neighborhood was fine, and now with you coming in, can we put that wall up, right, like the amphitheater? Can we do something to help make everybody be a better neighbor, rather than just, you know, pointing a finger or why don't we bring it to the table and have a conversation?
Right.
Maybe mediate it that way and say, how can we help each other here?
Well, let me see what we can do to see if the township could kind of bring together, right, sort of a mediation session and
Okay.
have the conversations, even though I'm sure you've spoken to them, we've spoken to them, we've spoken to some of the residents, and so, but now maybe that's a good idea to get us together and see if there's some things that they could do, right, to mitigate this. So,
Great, thank you.
all right.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Do we have your contact information, Mr. Moritz?
I can write it down.
Yeah, if you could, that would be great.
There you go.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
Gentleman in the black shirt, you wanted to comment as well? Dan? Okay.
Hi, thank you. Dan Seeth, 5 Old Post Lane. I'm 42 years old. I've lived here my whole life. That's my father's house at 5 Old Post Lane. He's lived there for 45 years. It was a cornfield and a soybean field when we first bought the house. And then Coast Nursery took over, parked fire trucks and boats and some trees, made it really gross for another 20 years. And then the brewery showed up. So I just wanted to put on record, and I want to say, first of all, thank you for your concern. I appreciate your response immediately with this. That was a relief. But September 13th, I just wanted to put out there, my sister and I were going to close the pool in our backyard. It's one thing that there's a parking lot directly on the property line. And Anthony, to your point, it's not near the properties, we're on the properties. My property line touches theirs. There was talks about 200 feet, blah, blah, blah. We touch. We've always touched, we touch. But anyway, back to the 13th, my sister and I were going to close the pool. The parking lot for the people that are encouraged to drink and consume their alcohol that's made on the premise, that's fine, whatever. Regular bands playing there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we tolerate it. It's not nice, but we tolerate it. But on Saturday, we couldn't talk to each other because it was so loud in our backyard. I'm in the entertainment business. I've been doing concerts and sound and event production for 25 years. I know what loud is. It was loud, okay? We couldn't talk to each other. And that's a thing. They're allowed to do what they can. But we couldn't let her children, her 5-year-old son, play in the backyard because they were screaming obscenities, okay? Obscenities. There's a tree line, a wall. It doesn't fix it. You're going to get it. And it's not just outside. Like you said, it's in our houses, okay? This is insane. We pay the highest property taxes and have since we started, okay? The neighborhood has over 100 houses that pay well over $1,000 a month in property taxes. If this doesn't get fixed, we should be reassessed, because this isn't fair that we're paying for rural residents, you know, and we're going to get attacked in our own yards. Okay, it's not, and they stay within their realm of like shutting off at 9 o'clock, and that's when the cars start, okay, and the motorcycles start, and everybody's got to peel out because they're done drinking. What was the purpose of this? Like, why do we need another place to drink? Why do we need a ticketed concert venue on top of homes? They built this place. They have a huge property. It's preserved farmland. You've got a road on this side and a neighborhood on this side. Houses run this way, houses run that way. Where did they set up? They got 4 corners they could have put this in. They chose the one corner that has residents on both sides. Why would you do that? Also, with the speakers being pointed away, when it's the quieter night, they fired it at their building. It bounces off the building and comes right back in our neighborhood. Saturday, they brought in a stage, an SL100. It's a 25-foot high stage. They flew the PA off of both sides, and they fired it at the neighborhood. Okay, it was backed up to Extonville Road, and it fired directly. And it's not just our neighborhood. We drove around. Okay, there's $1 million homes where the Christmas tree farm used to be. They're getting it too. Don't tax them either. I'm sure they're paying more than we are. That's nuts. Why are we being attacked after being residents for 45 years? Thank you for your consideration.
I'd be really interested to know if when they were, thank you, Dan. Just piggybacking on your comments, and I'd be interested to know if there was any mention during the permitting process, or if they needed to go and get variances before the planning board, if there was any mention of the plans for live music as a part of that discussion.
And my question to go along with yours is, are there any state regulations, any local, I don't know about local regulations, but are there any regulations as far as having a ticketed event?
Yeah, that's what
Because
just caught my ear as well.
when you're having a ticketed event, I would think that there's some kind of other permit that's going to be needed in order to do those things.
And the breweries are, I know someone kind of raised this point before, but they're very strictly regulated at the state level. It's not a township law, but it is, like, I wonder if that's even allowable, like, because they're very strict about, you can serve the product you produce, and that's it. Like, I wonder.
I do too, but I think it's just from my, limited knowledge of that, they restrict more foodstuffs and things like that.
Yeah, it's more.
Prevent them from selling those rather than focusing on entertainment
Entertainment.
or whatever you want to call this, so.
Just like to add one detail, it was a 21 and over event on the 13th as well. It wasn't for families, and it was paid, and you couldn't just attend. So thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Well, that's hence what I brought up before, right?
Yeah.
I brought up the Ford, their application was to operate a brewery. Was it up to operate a brewery and an entertainment center on top of it? And if it wasn't, it shouldn't be allowed. I don't care about the decibels or not. If they didn't follow the right permits and inform the township of what their intent was when they opened this place, then they should be held accountable. This is what I'm listening to is wrong.
We have to look.
If it was in my neighborhood, I sure as hell wouldn't like it.
I understand. We have to look into that and see. I mean, I don't know what happened at planning board for them or anything else for that matter, right? And that would have been the place where we could have put some conditional, or conditions on that, for approval there. But I don't know if any of that was done or discussed and all of that. So I don't know.
No.
We're going to have to look into this a lot more.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Stay open on business and then do what they want.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for meeting or allowing us this opportunity. This is my first time doing one of these as well, so I feel a little bit nervous in the beginning.
Can you give us your name?
My name is Rick Tamagno. I'm at 37 East Acres Drive. Richard Tamania, legal name. Dan and Dave did such a great job. They covered a lot of the items that we wanted to get into, and I want to thank them for that and not repeat the things that they had said. As Dan's mentioned to me before, he grew up in this area, and he told me something. It's a trade-off for us. We're not in the center of the town. I got kids. They're complaining all the time. I got to go 15, 20 minutes to get to, go to do stuff. And we've always said, yeah, but we got a nice big backyard. We're out in quiet. I got beautiful gardens and stuff like that we're growing out there. Compared to the center of town, unfortunately, it's a little bit like the Wild West out there, though. If you've never been out there before, take a drive out. Every 15 feet, there's a crack across the center of the road, all the way across this giant road with weeds growing through it. We're out there weed whacking our roads. I've called the town multiple times and asked them when they were going to do it. We're not even on the books for this. They come out and patch up little things. I talked to a senior citizen the other day. I didn't know other people were doing this. He was saying the same thing. He's called multiple times. We're not getting the services that they're getting in the center of town. So we're being treated like an outpost of the big city of Hamilton here. And like Dan said, we're paying the taxes. I calculated we're paying about $180,000 in taxes in the 15 years that I've been there. And this trade-off is no longer making financial sense. It's no longer adding up anymore. For us to have to, basically be paying the same prices that everybody else is paying, and other roads are getting resurfaced when they don't even need it. They don't need cracks on it. And I'm not exaggerating this. They're 6-inch wide cracks. I have, at the end of my road, Dan and I share a road, there's no drainage at the end of our road. There is a dead end, and the water is supposed to go out into the field. It's filled in, and the only way that I get the drainage and not have a pond with actual frogs in it is for me to go out there during storms and dredge a little path that goes out into the field. The town even came out there, and their fix was to cut down some of the vegetation and scrape up some of the stuff. So again, we're being treated more like an outpost as opposed to part of this city. And I think, it's time for us to be looking at filing for a tax abatement for days that we can't use our property because of sound ordinance violations. And as Dan had also mentioned, we do have recordings of almost 79 decibels was the highest that we got. On one of these apps that works pretty well. We're also using a hand meter. I don't know. The town did say that they went out there, but they went out on a Wednesday when there was no music playing. They met with the owner. I got an email back after I sent a request, and they said that they met with this owner, talked with him about the different things that were going on, as opposed to meeting with us and having those discussions with the actual homeowners to find out what's going on. And their conclusion at the end of it was that they were in compliance. So I'm not really sure. Dan and I do have a meeting scheduled on, was it Thursday at 9:30 with Fred Dumont, I believe. So we're going to be following up with him. And that's the main things that I had, but I could answer some of your other questions that you guys mentioned about the approvals. If you wanted me to, I have some things with
Before you go
me.
any farther, I have a question. The street where you said there's no drainage, give me a location.
It's directly, it's East Acres at the end. I'm at 37 East Acres, and it's directly across the street from where Dan lives.
They're real close to the border with Allentown.
I'm there.
Yeah,
Yep.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know the spot.
I know the neighborhood.
Okay. As far as some of the questions you guys were asking about the approvals for this, I do have some information. I've been following up with there's this State Agricultural Development Committee. They got a certain thing called a site-specific AMP, which had specifically to do with the farmland preservation. I spoke today with a woman named Diane Cotis. She's with Mercer County. I think that she's more like the liaison at the county level that takes the state approvals and then, deals with the people that are that have these preservations, but I mean, she seemed very concerned about it as well. She mentioned things like, this doesn't sound very neighborly, this doesn't sound like, so she's going to be following up with some of these things.
Hey, Rick, your time's up. How long has the brewery been in operation there?
Well,
Over a year.
yeah, and again, if I have some additional information specifically about.
You're welcome to come up for 3 more minutes, but we're going to go around, give everybody a first bite at the apple.
Thank you.
And then, sure. Anyone who hasn't talked yet during public comment who would like to get up? Janice.
This is simple and sweet. Janice Clark, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. Now, you had said the Department of Water Pollution is the sewer department.
Yeah.
So why don't we just call it the sewer department? Because you could have water pollution in your drinking water,
Naming rights.
right?
Yeah, it's naming rights. We'd have to go through a whole, no.
I mean, why isn't it just the sewer department? I mean, the water pollution control, you think, well, water pollution is what you're drinking,
Well,
right?
come on, Janice. We can't just call things by their name, can we?
You know, we're trying to make it hotsy-totsy, that it's not the sewer department?
I've always gotten a kick
Water
out of our
pollution
ecological
control?
center. That's always.
Okay, well, maybe when you type this up in parentheses, you could go sewer, so we know which, who's the pollution.
Allison, would you
Our
take that
drinking
under
water or
advisement?
water that should be polluted,
Go to that.
so we know what we're looking at.
Fair
Okay,
enough, thanks.
thank you.
We do want to make things clear for everybody.
Still got
You
2
know,
minutes in case you want to come back.
a lot of legalese. All right, let's see. So unless anybody wants to come up for the first time, we're going to do a second round. And I know, Tony, you were first. If you want to come back up,
I get another 3 after that?
you get 3. We're
Used to be
doing
two, we upped it to 3.
4 and 2. 4 and 2. So you get 2 more.
She has the picture, you guys can hold on to that. 'cause
Thank
you
you,
can use
Tony.
it for reference.
Thank you.
Be able to make a decision.
We'll keep them on file. Do you want them back?
No, I made it for you guys,
All
the
right.
council.
Got it.
All right, what I'll do is, I was gonna piggyback on what I said, but it's in here. So I'll be real quick. I talk fast. I can't believe I'm standing in front of you guys tonight, and ladies, to vet my concerns about the unfair treatment, harassment, and unsanitary conditions that has plagued the Hamilton Animal Shelter for over a year now. You have the package in front of you. I'm sure you all have a packet, right? For your review, to give you an in-depth understanding as to what's been taking place for the past year now. Most of it is addressing my termination as a volunteer by the health officer, Chris Helwig. This man has a very bad streak in him, and his recent actions towards employees and myself is only adding to the detriment of the shelter and has lowered morale big time. Presently, there are numerous grievances against this man for his contractual violations and unfair treatment of 2 employees, which have been the focus of Chris terminating my status as a volunteer on September 11th. This whole premise of firing or removing me from the volunteer roles has nothing to do with me not following rules, as he stated, but more about reprisal. Because I was willing to testify, this is important, I was willing to testify at the grievance hearing on July 30th against Chris. Keep in mind, when you read my information in that packet you have over there, he claims that he's removing me because I choose not to recommit to the standards expected of the shelter volunteers, but the written record will show otherwise. You will see in my first response letter on page 6, that's the first response letter to him, that I requested a copy of the volunteer handbook. And so I could adhere to the rules. He totally ignored me, that request, like he ignored my request to schedule a meeting with Kathy Fitzgerald, me, and himself. But he claims, oh, it wasn't vengeance. It was my unwillingness to adhere to the rules. I don't have a copy of the book. Now, I may have had one 4 years ago, but why would I be asking for a copy if I had a copy? I mean, this guy's strange. He's a strange bird. After he read my second response letter, he had a preconceived notion that he was going to remove me without cause, because if he If he was serious about keeping me on, he would have furnished me with the requested copy of the handbook. One of the complaints they had with me when I volunteered at the National Night Out was my wearing of flip-flops, and they claimed that it was against the rule to be wearing flip-flops while handling the dogs. If this is true, why didn't Faith, the volunteer coordinator, and Chris, the health officer, correct us that night?
Tony, you're out of time.
Out of time again? I'll come back. I'll leave off for you.
You
I
can
got-
come back the
I got
next
2 more
meeting at
pages,
this point.
that's all.
Well, you're out of time for tonight.
Oh, that's all you get?
Yeah, that's all you get.
Well, look, you got the general gist, right?
We've got the gist, we
And
got the
you
packet,
the entire thing that went on.
we got the
It's in its
pictures.
entirety. So read it, and then I don't know how you work this. Now, you go do an
So,
investigation?
well, how we're gonna work it is, you have raised some serious concerns.
Oh, yeah.
So we are gonna have to look into it. We're gonna have some discussions, and we're gonna see what we can find out.
Yeah. Talk to the people at the shelter. They'll give you the true facts.
Thank you for your volunteering,
This guy's
Tony. We
being-
do appreciate,
Be
Um,
vengeful, that's all you do.
so hopefully we can work it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Let's see, if we go in roughly the same order, I think, Miss Thurston would be next up for your second. 2 minutes is on the second turn, everybody, 2 minutes each.
I heard Fred Dumont's response, and I was really disheartened by that. I had an incident that was, I thought, brought on by that engineering department with my neighbor, and that went on for like 2 years. I finally just yielded and gave up. Now, he had been asked this question before. He had been asked this question in '05. He had been asked this question in '09. He had been asked this question in 2017. He had been asked this question repeatedly about the traffic flow and talking about doing speed bumps. And he gave reason why it wasn't good, but he was a little dismissive, and I'm a little disheartened by that. So I don't know that this will go anywhere. But there's nothing wrong with putting paint down. I can't imagine that would be so detrimental to the road. Secondly, Hamilton, that Hollywood Drive should be a one-way. They need to cut that off. They need to cut Park Lane is one way. They need to make part of Hollywood one way. And whenever there's a backup on Nottingham, they cut through that area, and it's just an overflow. So I'm really disappointed, but I'm speaking my truth, and it's not just me. Others in the neighborhood complain about this, and I keep telling them, go to the township, and they don't come. So I'm just doing me and speaking the truth. There's a problem. They know it's a problem. They choose not to do anything. The last thing I don't understand, and I know BB's been there for forever, but sometimes BB's clients come down. I want you to see Mervine, and I sure hope somebody comes out if you're not familiar with it. Coming down Mervine, imagine an 18-wheeler trying to make a right-hand turn.
Into the residential area?
Absolutely. Some of those drivers were so upset that they came in on Joan Terrace, turned left on Hollywood, was getting stuck because...
Yeah, it's narrow and curvy through that section of roads there.
He's going to BB's. He was so upset. He said, I'm
So,
not losing my job.
Ms. Thurston, we do want to address, yeah.
Don't run away.
We want
Don't run away.
to, so yeah, I know they're formulating, what can be done, or some thoughts about what can be done. So I don't want you to think nothing's going to be done, because I do believe something is going to be done.
Get a whole page of notes.
Yeah, and Councilman Papero?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify, Director Dumont was not in office. He was not in that position in the years you spoke about. He didn't start until, I believe, 2021 or 2020?
No, sir. I've known
It's been-
Fred Dumont since '05, and
What,
he's
6
been in
years?
the engineering department for
Right.
quite some.
No, he wasn't. He was in private industry in the labor union.
He
Well,
didn't
he
start
was-
here with the township until
Well-
2020, when Mayor Martin
Yeah.
started. But you may know him because he's been in
Yeah,
Hamilton
but-
for a long, long time, so he's very familiar with Hamilton.
You say he didn't start until when?
2020.
The mayor's only been, and this is his, Fred, and
You may have dealt with somebody else, though, in
I know Fred
engineering
Dumont.
before this.
There used to be a Bromley, civic
that's right.
program.
Yes.
I've known him since back then.
And you know what, whether it was 2020 or 2019, yeah, and that's a fair point, but we do want to address the issue. I used to live on Connecticut Avenue. I'm very familiar with the neighborhood, and the fact is it's low visibility because it's a beautiful neighborhood, but the streets are curvy and they're narrow, and people park on both sides, and they are through streets. That's the other issue there, is that it connects from Greenwood right through to Nottingham, and people use it as a cut through.
They didn't used to, but now
Yeah.
it's come to that.
Right.
But there has to be some semblance of order.
I think there are gonna be, I'm confident there are things we can
And
do.
that's my
So,
concern. I'm really not confident after what I,
Miss-
Well-
I'm willing to hear.
Ms. Thurston, just before you run away, I asked for speed bumps all over the place because I'm tired of speeding. I ask for speed bumps everywhere because
Pat's
I'm
a fan of speed
I'm
bumps.
I'm a big fan of speed bumps. I hate the fact that people are speeding through neighborhoods. There's kids on bikes, there's people walking, so I agree with you. The problem that comes about when you talk about putting speed bumps out, if there's 20 houses on the street, 10 are gonna want it and 10 are not gonna want it. And then we end up making 10 more enemies or 10 less enemies. And so I think we have to be very careful. We have to do a study and actually devise a plan. So you can think negatively and we'll under promise, over deliver, but you got all of our attention. Okay?
We're
Yeah,
gonna,
and I just wanted to add, not to top any of that, because that was all perfect, but please don't be discouraged. And in fact, if anything, Mr. Dumont might not be as big a fan of speed bumps as some others, but I can tell you in many instances throughout the town, he has found a solution for it. It's made everyone happy and it's addressed the problem. And again, before he even got up to speak, he had contacted 2 different divisions in his department to address this first thing tomorrow. So again, I'm not saying it's going to be fixed by tomorrow. I'm saying that I know him well enough to know that he's committed to finding a solution. So please, don't get discouraged yet with us. We'll,
I'm not discouraging you all. I'm just,
All right.
I'm just a little disheartened based off of what I.
well, let's see how he goes.
But I'll stay positive.
All right, great.
But please, come look.
okay.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Thurston. I can't. We have too many. I'm sorry, Tony.
No, I just
We-
want to know,
What?
we're going to do an investigation and then you're going to get back to me.
None of this is going to be picked up on the way.
Right.
No, it's just a question.
Tony, do I have your number? Is it in the packet? I will,
The email, you'll see it.
I'll email you. I will email you.
Okay. And you'll make a determination as to.
Well, we gotta look, I can't make any promises, you know. You know that. The procedure is, we're gonna look into it, we're gonna see what we can find out. I will follow up with you.
Yeah, follow up. Because in the meantime, they also volunteer.
Yeah, and our volunteers are valuable, so that's a concern. Thank you, Tony. Yep. All right, let's see, who is next for your second turn up? You guys wanna come up? So Dan, we'll give you 2 more minutes.
I don't need that much. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever done one of these, and I don't really want to bother you guys again. Dan Seeth, S-E-E-T-H, that's 5 Old Post Lane in Yardville. To follow up on Rick's thing with the road, which I had no intention of talking about, but a little background on that. The neighborhood was built in '78, so that's the first time East Acres Drive was paved. It was paved again in 1993 when I was in like 4th grade. They parked the steamroller at the corner of the dead end where that doesn't drain anymore. And it hasn't been touched since. So to give you some perspective, 78 to 93 is like 15 years. That would be 2008. We probably should have touched it again. Didn't happen. Another 15 years after that. So we could use a little improvement. He's not exaggerating when there's a bump every 10 to 12 feet. It's just the way the concrete's laid. It's just cracked. That's the way it is. But where Russell Drive and East Acres come together, there's a drop that's probably close to like 3 inches. It's
Where was
insane. Russell Drive and East Acres Drive. They're the only two ways to get into the neighborhood, and then everybody has to drive on that. So,
I will tell you, we're constantly repaving.
Okay.
And it's not to say, that your road does not deserve to be repaved, because it does sound, based on the description, like there's.
Yeah, I wasn't
There's
planning
an
on
issue
talking
there.
about it, but since you brought it
But-
up, it's like, it's a real thing. It's our road
Yeah.
is really beat up. So anyway, thank you.
So that's something else.
We'll
that
be
we
out
need
tomorrow
to-
at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm going out tomorrow.
All right. All right. Who? Yes, sir. Rick. Come on up.
Is that what you remember that name?
Reading glasses this time. I'm a new reading glass meter, so haven't coordinated that yet. Again, Rick Tamagno, 37 East Acres. I don't really have anything else to add as far as, the specific topics, but I did have some information as far as there was a resolution through the county. And I could give you guys copies of that if you want.
I'll take one. Thank you, Rick. This is the Mercer County Agricultural Development Board resolution recommending a site-specific agricultural management practice approving Ben Iron Brewery.
Right. You might find some conditions in there that, again, may require, if they're going to have events and ticketed events, I'm not positive, but they may have to have permission either from this group or some conditions in there that allow it. So, and again, I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know what the details are and all of that, but this is the group that recommends whether they get their permit or not to have the brewery. So that's part of it. It's not the whole thing, but it's part of their permissions.
I do have some additional information about this. Is basically that this was the resolution as of, 2023. Last year in 2024, there was an Assembly bill, Senate bill. I have the numbers for those that was signed by the governor, which basically expanded a lot of this, the approvals. It made it so that there was less restrictions on the amount of special events and things like that. So I'm very unclear as to what is still valid from this, because if you were just to go with this, there are some assertions made here where, on the second page towards the bottom, it says the applicant testified intends to operate Thursdays through Sundays. It's now Wednesdays through Sundays.
His proposed hours to conform with the current OFDM-AMP. I don't know what that means. No.
On the next page, it says the provision of light background music recorded or live to enhance the experience. The applicant testified is not the intention to have loud music or nightclub scenarios.
Where's that on the next page? Here. Whereas by way of narrative and testimony, provision of light background music recorded or live to enhance the experience. It's one thing to have like a jazz trio and another thing to have a hard rock band.
Right, and
Was that a condition of a?
Well, see, I think the key word here is recommending, because this is the county, so it doesn't have, I don't think there's enforcement behind this doc. That's my impression of.
The legislation that came after it too may,
right,
add to that. So I think we have to have legal take a look at that as well.
Yeah, and we obviously, we might do an Oprah request to find out, there was a public hearing done by the township. I was not able to be in attendance for that, so I would like to get the minutes for the public hearing that happened for because of
I don't know that you'll even need an Oprah. You might just be able to call the Oprah?
If it's through the township, we need Oprah.
You have to have an
We
Oprah?
put everything through Oprah. just
Okay,
we have a
so
record.
you have to fill out an Oprah form.
On the, just two more references on here. Letter X on page 4 talks about the primary purposes. The music would be ancillary to, but basically everything is ancillary to the craft beer. And then XII talks about the background music. So those are just a few of the things I've.
Provision of background music enhances the experience of purchasing the primary agricultural output of craft beer and is a common ancillary entertainment-based activity on farms hosting on-farm direct marketing activities and events across the state. The applicant agrees to comply with the New Jersey noise standard found in, and they reference statute here. So, okay.
Okay. And then they did have a meeting with the town, or with the locals, which was not an official, there was no one from the township there, but it was something that they, said that it was going to be this neighborly thing. And basically a lot of the assertions that were made at the time and promises really have not been upheld. And they were similar to what's in here. David said he had recalled specifically that they had said that they were not going to even have amplified music. I guess he's a musician himself, and he was wondering how would you not at least have like a small amp or something. So the guy David that had already left here. So they made a lot of promises, and it's really not been upheld. And the last thing I wanted to say is I do have a copy of the township, Mercer County Township Ordinance, and I see references in here to decibel levels, and then there's also someone mentioned about the people that would go out and measure it, and on section, I'm not sure how to reference this, but I guess just after part of the definitions, there's a noise control officer and then a noise control investigator, which sounds like two different people who have some type of authority to.
So Rick, you're out of time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
You brought it to our attention. You've given us a good starting point. I'm going to give that to our attorney, and we're going to look into it. Yeah, we've got some homework to do tonight. We've got some concerns raised by the citizens here, so appreciate everyone. Any other members of the public? Any questions, comments? Seeing none, we're going to move to comments from council. We'll start at the far end of the table and work our way this way.
We're going to be a gentleman tonight. We're going to start with Councilwoman Phillips. Since I, chivalry, you know what I mean? I still open doors for women. I'm going to let Nancy go first. Go ahead, Nancy.
Thank you, Councilman. I'm going to keep it short. I do want to thank, obviously, like the president said, we've had some real serious concerns brought to us tonight by our residents. So thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to be here to share your concerns. And again, like you said, being teachers, we got lots of homework. The only other thing I was going to mention was, and I think we're together before then, but Oktoberfest is coming up next month, which is a great event here in town. People come from all over for Oktoberfest. That's October 19th. It is a Sunday from 11 to 5 at Veterans Park. So I just wanted to mention that. And otherwise, hope you all have a good night.
Now they get it.
We could have gone before too, but
Thank you.
go ahead, Councilman.
Just a couple brief things. I was glad to see the resolution on the agenda tonight for Hamilton Little Lads. Hopefully, this is going to enable them to be a successful, well-run organization again. And like Councilwoman Phillips said, I appreciate our residents coming out, especially to enlighten us on what's going on at the brewery. Listen, quality of life is important, and I agree with you. You live out in a rural area, you move there for a reason, right? And I don't think anybody should have to put up with it. I'm hoping that we can find something in our lawyers and our business administrator find something that we can possibly even bring them in and have a little meeting with them to say, hey, listen, it's time you became a good neighbor, right? you got to respect the neighborhood that you're operating your business out of, so that they can have the quality of life that, you're all paying for. So, and some of the other issues as far as the roads, I'm sure that some of my colleagues up here will be taking a visit out there to check on some things along with the brewery. Might not be a bad thing to stop out there on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon to hear it firsthand for ourselves. So, again, thanks for coming. Thanks for the information, and hopefully, we could get back to you with some positive results.
I'll echo what Councilman Whalen has said this evening. I appreciate those members of the public coming out tonight, and hopefully we can address these concerns. Yeah, I mean, I was there when that one project was built. The business was built there, and I know that it was fairly close to the neighborhood, and these were going to be, hopefully, it stays as a brewery, stays within those confines. You're not dealing with some of the issues that you're faced with right now. So, and no one should have to deal with that. And also to the woman who spoke, thank you so much for bringing some of those concerns on the road improvements. Hopefully we can address them over the next month or so and have better improvements for that area of town. So listen, thank you very much for coming out this evening, and we have one meeting? Two meetings next month. So are we in here?
No.
Oh, we're not. We're about the council chambers. Okay. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Back at our home base.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. We're listening, we hear you, and, we're not friends of one another. So I'm going to leave it at that, and thank everybody for coming. Thank our usuals. Two parts of our team here, Janice and Steve, for all the handlers, and
Thank you. Yeah, very sensitive microphones. But I want to thank everyone. A lot of serious concerns raised tonight, so we have our work cut out for us to follow up on these issues that have been raised. We're going to have to get more information in every instance with these issues. So we will be working on that. We will be working to respond. There's going to be a councilman coming out to your neighborhood. There's going to be a councilman coming out to your neighborhood. We're going to coordinate these visits, and we want to make sure that we're being as responsive as we can to the concerns that have been raised. I want to thank the members of the community who came together on September 11th for our remembrance ceremony honoring, we had several Hamilton families who lost members on 9/11. We had many first responders who were a part of the response effort to that, and it's always comforting to have the community come together to honor and respect and remember on that day. So a nice community. I don't know if nice is the right word, but it was comforting to have everyone come together. And finally, Councilman Carabelli mentioned it, but I want to make it clear, this is our last meeting of the year here at the Senior Center. We are going to be going back to the municipal building now that we're reasonably confident that the HVAC is not going to cause us a problem or cause a problem for the public in the comfort level. We have mics that work better in the room, so these are fine, but they're very sensitive, these microphones. And so we'll be back on our regular schedule, first and third Tuesdays of the month. So we look forward to seeing you at the municipal building in October. And with that, thanks again, everyone, for coming out. This meeting is adjourned.